Wedding Planning by Patricia Mack. When you meet the second man of your dreams, do you live with them or get married? Arthur and Patricia wanted a wedding. This was early in 2013 when West End's gathering space was being torn up throughout for renovations. They sat with Reverend Michael Boss to make plans. Reverend Boss's office.
We tell Reverend Boss October 11th, 2014 is the date we would like our wedding, and that we had asked the three ladies of West End to cook. Wine could be discussed as that needed consistory approval.
Oh, yes. Patricia has many things to accomplish, so be kind. Just tell us what we need to know. Reverend Boss said that wine and the ladies could be voted on at the next consistory meeting.
We are going to ask most of the congregation, as the church will need to celebrate the remodel and just have a fun time. That, along with our friends, would be about 150. We wanted to order round tables. Reverend Boss said time constraints of delivery and removal will have to be worked on.
Reverend Boss, thank you for your time and your effort on assisting us with our wants. I know that Patricia has planned many events here. I'm just waiting to see what she ends up with. I'm just holding her hands and I'm going to let her fly.
Home, Connecticut, Massachusetts.
Well, here we go. Let the computer assist me. Make the list of attendees, invitations, centerpieces, the items we went on and on. Arthur, look at this. Look at this. The poor man said, just decide, okay?
Who do you want to make the cake?
I'm going to ask Tina Boss to bake it if she so likes. Arthur, do you think I should ask Timothy Mathis to assist us with invitations and being our wedding planner?
Of course, he would be perfect. You two get along so well together, and he's a good planner.
Timothy said yes in a flash. We all went shopping for invitations, having a blast. The choices were many, but Arthur and I knew cost played a part. I asked Kim Moore to use her calligraphy talents to address the envelopes, blessed with great friends. I visited my sister Lorraine in Massachusetts, where we went shopping for material for the head table. We found a bolt of material, a black background, small red flowers, and silver ribbing attached to the flowers. We were so happy with our find.
Now, we need to talk about the round tables that we plan to buy.
Well, we have to see how many will fit in the gathering space, so we need to measure that area. I made a few paper tops of the tables so we could see how seats would work.
Here are the measuring tape, some blank paper, Timothy to help us. Let's figure the long tables for the head table, and what table will we use for the cake? Lots of questions.
We laid out the chairs to measure the front table, then the round paper tabletops. Miguel and Tito talked to us about what they would move the day before our wedding, sound system, and having all the chairs we needed. Reverend Boss did not want the tables too early, as organizations were using the area during the week, so we settled on a date.
I know you have lots to order.
Yes, there are tablecloths, centerpieces, name cards, etc. A couple of items have come up. Our date is Mary Lee's 50th birthday and Joe and Allison Ziegler's wedding anniversary. I would like them each to receive a bottle of champagne. Tim can handle this during the reception. Let us have a raffle of gifts instead of a take-home gift. This would keep the folks involved in fun.
That all sounds good. Now, tell me where you're going to place all these goodies you plan to buy.
Well, we have our long hallway in our apartment like the place to put things. I will purchase plastic boxes, unwrap everything, so you just have to take things out to decorate. Now let's talk about food.
Sounds good. Now, who's going to serve this food?
West End has 5 young men in high school whom I would like to ask if their parents agree. And we can ask Charlotte Camber to have guests sign our framed picture. Then a few Columbia waiters whom your buddy Anthony can assist us obtaining. Now on to a photographer. Anthony also knew whom to ask. He took me upstairs at work to meet David Lundquist. And funny, he and I knew each other from singing Christmas carols at the Columbia University party. That made life easier.
When will you go to buy a dress?
Everyone is excited about this event happening between two folks who have known each other via phone for 7 years after you retired. You were lucky I didn't marry one of the other men I dated. The dress I bought a few years ago to wear to any formal event I might go to. I saw it in my favorite shop on 72nd Street and could not resist buying it. So now I have to buy shoes. Those I can wear at work to break them in. And Camille and Curtis have talked about dresses and they will find something fine.
I know you want your dad at our wedding. Do you think he will come? And Cynthia, your second cousin, is important to you, but she's fighting cancer. Will she come?
Well, I have been talking to Dad and he seems okay, but doesn't know how he will feel. I pray God gives me both of them alive and well. This ceremony is going to be a salute to Dad, but I can't tell him that. We will use his music, A Lover's Waltz. He wrote as a poem many years ago for my mom, and he asked me if I knew who could write a waltz melody. I asked John Russo if he would do so. He did not think he was up to it, but he wrote it, and Timothy would sing it as I walked down the aisle. I sang it to Dad at a church talent show. My mom had passed, so he was pleased. Now, Dad is a big poetry writer, so we need to select poems to read. I have asked Kim and Chris Moore to read them for us. I can ask Reverend Voss to bless their marriage after they have completed the poems. I have selected No One Knows Better Than I, and You Want When I Think of You. And we have asked April Fisher and Mary Hack to sing and Cynthia Powell to play Make Our Garden Grow from Candide. I am so happy.
Priscilla and Catherine's party.
Tell me what happened at the party that Catherine and Priscilla joyfully gave us. You were very excited.
Well, while we were all talking, Catherine decided to announce, since she was mother of a son, she should be my mother of the bride. Well, that went over well until Priscilla said she did not have children, so she should also be mother of the bride. Well, Susan and Kim also said they would join in. So now I have 4 mothers, and I have decided to ask my boss, Mary Lee, to join them.
Lunch with the mothers of the bride.
Priscilla asked me what was my color scheme. I said black tablecloths. I wanted the room to look like a nightclub. She said, thank goodness. I figured you would use pink or white. I asked them if being hosts at separate tables would be okay, and if they would sit in the front rows of the church. They all agreed.
Talks with Timothy.
Timothy, you are working with Tina on our cake. We don't want to know anything until the wedding. We talked about everything I had bought, his singing, plans for food, setting up the gardening space. The Friday before the wedding, everything was ready but the gas supply.
Reverend Michael Boss.
Each Sunday after church, Reverend Voss would update us on the gas supply for the kitchen. Now we were 2 weeks away, so we were nervous. He assured us it would be up and running that week. We promised him we had a second plan for food, but we got lucky by Monday. There was gas.
Jessica Phillips took us to BJ's, and what fun that was, looking at our list and making changes as needed. We dropped everything at the church and felt a great deal of relief. Anthony and I brought the wedding supplies down that Friday. Timothy and our friend John helped us set up the room.
Wedding day. The day was a bit damp, but all went well for everyone involved. My dad and Cynthia took their residence at Hotel Belclair, and we had rooms ready for the 5 West End folks who were working for us. They had to be up early for church the next morning, so we gifted them a reprieve. I just kept getting myself ready with my hair, makeup, and dressing. Camille and Curtis came to my hotel room to get dressed. Then we walked our way over 77th Street to the church.
Wonderful event.
I stayed downstairs in the nursery. Kim Moore came to see me, and David took a lovely picture. My daughters checked on the West End ladies to be sure they were fine. I did get to see the empty gathering space and was thrilled with it. When we went on to walk down the aisle, I got nervous. I looked around the door and saw Karen Rice, and she waved at me. That made me happy. I went down the aisle trying to look at everyone. When I reached my dad sitting in the front row, I placed my left arm around his shoulder. He stated loudly, "Now I know why you wanted me here." I just giggled. He had just heard his song, and that made me feel great. Arthur was to come over to get me, but I could see he wasn't so I just walked over to him. The wedding went along without any problems, and then we walked down the aisle. The taking of photos took a while as we had lots of folks to be in them. Now on to the real fun. The room was mobbed, but we'd managed to get to the table, passing a beautiful layered table full of cupcakes and a small top cake. I was so proud of our young servers. They stood tall and proud. When it was time to cut the cake, Arthur didn't want to cut it. I swear we talked at least 5 minutes with the cake in front of us. People were ready to take pictures, so Arthur said, "Okay, let's cut it," and it was delicious. Timothy ran everything. I didn't worry about anything. The champagne was presented, raffle items done, and wonderful gift to the West End ladies. Everyone selected the flavor of cupcake they wanted, and we talked the rest of the evening, then off to another hotel for drinks. Oh, what a night.
The end.